Good morning, children. Welcome to online classes DEO Nalgonda channel. Today, let us study about 8th class physical science. The topic is force. So, in our daily life, we are come across many incidents, many observations are there. You can see or you can watch, you can observe many activities in our daily life. Many tasks are there. If you observe around us, in our surroundings, in our daily life, seasons are occurring, winter season, summer season, seasons are occurring, and also sun rises in the morning, the sun rises in the morning, sunset in the evening, seasons. So, all these are happening. So, who is making all these things to happen? What are the causes behind this? In ancient days, people used to believe that some invisible force is responsible for all these activities to take place. So, some force is there which is the reason behind all these activities of happening things, seasons, sunrises, sunsets, flowing of rivers, tides at the seas. But later on, a concept of force has been developed. So, not only these things, in our daily life also, in the from morning to evening, we perform many activities. We do many tasks. We have to brush, we have to eat, we have to run, we have to work. Many tasks are to be performed daily. So, to perform all these activities, to do all these activities, we are doing some effort. We are using some strength. These terms, strength, effort, all these terms leads to the term force. So, we stretch our hands, we pick some objects, we twist, we eat. All these activities are there. If you keenly observe all these activities, mainly we are either pushing or pulling, sometimes both pushing and pulling also. See, let us consider some activities. For example, digging of bore wells. While digging bore wells, what do we do? A machinery part pushes into the ground. And if you consider another example, for example, we are taking cool drink, we use straw, we sip juice from the bottle. That means we are pulling the juice inside the bottle with the help of straw. And if I want to rub blackboard, I have to use this eraser and I have to rub like this. So, I am pushing. And while hoisting a flag, we have to pull the rope. So, in all these activities, mainly two terms are there. That is, we are either pulling or pushing. In some activities, of course, both pulling and pushing takes place. So, in other words, we can say that this either pulling or pushing is nothing but force. So, let us discuss about this force in detail in this class. What type of forces are there and what are the different illustrations and examples that we can give to use this force. So, force is needed to us to perform our activities. If there is no force, there is no world. To do any activity, any work, we need a force. So, what type of force that is, it is different thing. If you consider forces, there are two types of forces. One is contact force and another is force other than contact, that is force at a distance. This force at a distance, in other words, is called field forces. First of all, let us discuss in detail about these contact forces, and later on let us go to field forces. Among contact forces, first force is muscular force. For example, you want to brush your teeth, you have to apply force on paste and then that paste comes outside. You have to rub that brush on your teeth, that means you have to touch it and you have to brush your teeth. To bath or to do any work, we have to touch it first of all. Without touching an object, you can't apply force. See, you might have observed farmers working in the fields. If you keenly observe them, their muscles, they stretches their hands, they pull something, they lift something. Even we too, if you are coming to the school, you have to lift your bag and hold on your back. So, you will touch the bag and you make use of your muscles, and by making use of your muscles, you will apply force. So, without touching that object, you can't apply force. So, that is the muscular force. Not only these muscles outside which are appearing to you, inside our body also muscular force is acting. While breathing, in the case of digestion, in the case of blood circulation, in the case of heart beating, we are unaware of these forces, but all these are also to be considered as force. So, what happening? Muscles, some muscles relax and some muscles contract to perform force. So, these type of forces are muscular forces, because we are making use of our muscles to do, and without touching we can't do. That is why by contacting objects, by touching objects only, we can apply this muscular force. That is why this kind of force is called contact force. You may give many examples in your daily life. Bodybuilders, if you see bodybuilders, you can observe muscles, how they are moving. One muscle moves, one muscle contracts and other muscle relaxes. So, by contact and relaxing muscles simultaneously, they perform functioning. So, this type of force is called muscular force. It comes under contact force. And let us go to next activity, that is next force, that is friction. What is meant by friction? See, if a ball is rolled on a carpet, it moves, and if ball is rolled on a smooth surface, it moves faster. So, why it is so happening? On carpet, ball moves slowly, on smoother surface, on marbles, ball moves fastly. So, after moving to some extent, that ball stops. So, who is stopping that ball? Any hidden force is there inside the ball to stop. Why it stops itself after moving to some extent? And any object, not only ball, if you take any other object also, it moves. When we apply force on it, it moves. After going to some distance, it stops. So, here some force is resisting ball to move further. For example, hard surface is there. On hard surface, ball moves to some distance and it stops, because that hard surface resists ball from moving further. That kind of force which is acting against movement is called frictional force or force of friction. And that force of friction may be different for different surfaces. For smoother surfaces, force of friction is less. For harder surfaces, force of friction is more. You may take many examples of this type. For example, let us conduct one activity. Here I am taking some few objects of different surfaces. On this tray, I am keeping a rubber and a coin and any other material. If I lift this slowly, objects are falling down. So, are they falling at the same time? They are not falling on the same time. Coin is falling downwards speedily, and this rubber is falling somewhat with less speed. And if you take any substance which is whose surface is not smooth, it won't fall as much as coin falls. The speed is different. So, because this surface is giving frictional force and stopping the objects, that speed of these objects is different because of their surfaces. Objects with smooth surfaces are falling down speedily. Objects with harder surfaces are moving down slowly. So, anyhow, this force which is acting against the movement of object, which is stopping the moving object, is called force of friction. What happens if there is no friction? When a boy or a girl walking in a wet mud, what will be the experience? Have you ever experienced during rainy season, if you are going to the school, if you find any kind of wet mud, you will be slipped. So, why it is so happening? Because that surface has become smooth. Wet mud gives less friction. Even if you are walking in a sand, you can't move freely as you can move on harder surfaces. This is because of the friction. That frictional force stops you and prevents you moving speedily. So, these kind of daily experiences are there. That force which is acting against movement of a body is called force of friction. That is second kind of friction. And let us go to third one, normal force. See, I am holding, this box is kept on my hand. So, why it is not falling down? Actually, every object which is falling freely will be affected by gravitational force. In your earlier classes, you might have studied every object, every freely falling object falls on the ground. If I leave this box, it falls on the ground. So, what happens? You imagine that there is no hand, immediately this hand is removed. What happens? This box falls on the ground due to gravitational force. But it is not falling. Who is preventing this box to fall on the ground? Of course, my hand is preventing here. If you keep any object on the table, for example, book is kept on the table, that book won't fall on the ground, because even though there is a gravitational force which is acting upon a body, it won't fall because the table gives a kind of force to the book which is kept on it. So, that table supports the book not to fall on the ground. That means that table is giving a kind of force which is acting against the gravitational force. Here that force is called normal force, because what is meant by normal? Normal is the direction which is perpendicular to the horizontal surface. If it is horizontal surface, this is the direction of normal. A book is kept here like this. If a book is kept like this, it should fall on the ground, because its weight is towards the ground, gravitational force is acting on it, but this table is preventing that book not to fall on the ground. So, the force acting on this book by the table is normal force. If normal force and gravitational forces are equal in magnitude, this book is at rest position. So, here the force which is acting upward against gravitational force is called normal force. This is a normal force. All objects which are kept on table or on hand or at somewhere at a particular height, they will not fall on the ground due to normal force. So, we can define normal force as the force which is acting against gravitational force. And let us go to fourth one, tension. See, here I am suspending this small ball with the help of thread. Is it falling on the ground? It is not falling on the ground, it is suspended, and you may fix it to the roof also. Here I am holding this one. Actually, this is free body, freely suspended. Gravitational force, whether gravitational force is acting on it or not? Yes, acting, because on every object gravitational force acts. So, if gravitational force is acting on this body, this should fall down. Is it falling? It is not falling, because another force is acting on this body. That force is given by this thread. Because of the tension in this thread, this body is not falling on the ground. It is holding this body. So, this force in the thread, which we call as tension, acts against gravitational force and keeps this body stable and see that it will not falls on the ground. So, this kind of force inside this thread or string, which is the reason for not falling this body on the ground, is called tension. Tension is not the tension which we feel due to stress. This is inside the thread and acting against the gravitational force and preventing this body not to fall on the ground. So, in all these cases, what do you observe? In the case of muscular force, there is a contact between two objects. We have to touch the object and we apply our muscles. So, without contact it is not possible. In the second case also, in the case of friction also, rolling a ball or moving object, if it is moving, surface on which it moving gives this force of friction. So, there is a contact between that moving object and surface. So, that is why it comes under contact force. In the case of third, normal force also, the book which is kept on the table is not falling. Here there is a physical contact between book and table. So, that is why this force also said to be, normal force also said to be contact force. In the case of tension also, we have suspended a ball or any object with the help of string or thread. So, there is a contact between that object and thread. So, that is why this tension also comes under contact force. So far we have discussed contact forces and types of contact forces. So, is it possible to apply force without touching it? without having physical contact with? Yes, it is possible, because we have already seen gravitational force. Without touching itself, earth attracts all the objects towards it. Fruits falling from the tree, ground does not touch the fruit to attract it. For example, a ball is thrown up, that ball comes back and falls on the ground. So, here also there is no contact, earth does not touches the ball to attract towards it, because there is no physical contact between ball and earth. There is no contact between any object which is falling freely on the ground, will not have any direct contact. Such force which is exerted without physical contact is called force at a distance, and it is also called field force. Number 1, force at a distance is gravitational force. Gravitational force. And can you imagine and give any other examples where force is exerted without physical contact between two objects? So, you might have heard, you might have learned in 7th class about magnetism, how magnets attract needles. For example, this is a small magnet and this is a material made with iron, and even though there is no direct contact between these two, this attracts the object like this. Here magnet will not have any direct contact with this material, iron. Even they are kept apart from each other at a certain distance, this magnet attracts iron material towards it without directly touching the material. So, here there is no contact, that is why this type of magnetic force is said to be force at a distance or field force. And that is why magnetic field, magnetic force, is said to be field force. And one more example we can take, third example. You take a balloon, fill it with air, tie it with thread, and balloon is to be rubbed with some paper. If you rub the balloon, it acquires electric charge on its surface, and take that balloon and keep at paper strips. Those paper strips rises and clings to the balloon. That means this balloon which is charged will attract small piece of papers without touching. So, here what is happening, what is the phenomena that is taking place? That rubbed balloon acquires electrostatic charge, whether it is positive charge or negative charge, of course. When it is taken nearer to the paper pieces also get charged, oppositely charged. Paper pieces will get opposite charge, which is opposite to the charge acquired by the balloon. So, because of oppositely charges on both balloon and these papers, there will be electrostatic force which attracts, due to which paper pieces are attracted towards balloon, and this force is called electrostatic force. Here also there is no direct contact. It comes under field forces. So, here how many forces are there? Field forces, number 1 gravitational force, number 2 magnetic force, third one which we have discussed just now is electrostatic force. Electrostatic force. So, in these 3 cases there is no direct contact between objects. So, that is why these 3 forces are called force at a distance or field forces. So far we have discussed what is force, definition of force, and different situations, different activities, different tasks where we apply force, and also types of force. Contact forces, under contact forces, muscular force, friction, normal force, tension. We have studied in detail regarding these contact forces, and then other forces, forces at a distance, that is field forces, and these 3 field forces, gravitational forces and magnetic forces and electric forces. And in our next session, let us discuss what is the effect of force and what is net force, how force acts on bodies, and how force makes changes on bodies. In our next class, let us study in details about causes and effects of force. Thank you very much. Welcome to online classes DEO Nalgonda channel. In your earlier class, in last session, we have discussed about force, definition of force, and different types of force, that is contact forces and field forces. Now, in this session, let us discuss about net force. What is meant by net force? For example, a boy is trying to push a table. It is hard to him. The table is not moving because its weight is more. Boy is unable to move the table. So, for example, force applied by the boy is, let us suppose that it is F1, let us suppose, and he asked his friends to come and help him. Another boy comes and he also pushes the table. Now, both first person and second person both are pushing the table. For example, force applied by the second boy is F2. Now, the table moves forward. Why? Because here force applied by first boy and second boy together is more. So, net force acting on that table is F1 plus F2. For example, first boy has applied a force of 10 newtons and second boy has applied the force of 12 newtons. Then the net force acting upon the table is 10 plus 12, that is 22 newtons. As the force has been increased, the table moves further. So, here we have to add those 2 forces because force is increased, and you may take other examples also. For example, I am taking rubber bands on my finger. So, this rubber band is acting force on my fingers, and if you take one more rubber band and add it, and now 2 rubber bands are acting on my fingers, which is more than the previous case. And if you take another rubber band and round on my fingers, and more force is acting on my fingers. So, as the force increased, here net force will be increased. So, here in this case, in the case of previous example and in the case of this rubber bands example, if force is increased, that increased force is said to be net force. The total force which is acting on a body is said to be net force. And what kind of forces will act on a particular body? For example, let us take one example. A car is moving. What kind of forces are acting on this body? This body is said to be free body. This diagram is free body diagram. Free body. A car is moving. Now, what various forces which are acting on this car? Let us see. One force is acting towards the ground, that is gravitational force. It is denoted by W. And another forces, normal forces acting, one normal force acting on this tire is N1 and another normal force acting on this one is N2. Two forces are acting. And engine is giving force towards this direction, let that force be capital F. And here earth also, road, let us suppose, in the road gives frictional force, let it be denoted by small f. So, these are all different forces acting on a moving car. So, if you take directions, x axis and y axis, along x axis what are the forces acting? Force acted by the engine is capital F, and that force given by the engine is making this car to move forward, but friction acts against that force which is given by the engine. So, that is why we have to take minus F. So, total force along x axis is F minus F. And what are the forces acting along y axis are N1 normal force plus N2. These two forces are acting upward, but whereas gravitational force is acting downwards, that is why we have to take minus W. So, net force acting along x axis is F minus F, net force acting along y axis is N1 plus N2 minus W. Here we have to apply sign convention, because these two are acting upward and this force is acting downwards. And this is a free body diagram. And what are the effects of force? For example, in a football game, a player kicks the ball. That ball because of kicking moves forward on the ground. After some time it stops because of friction. So, that frictional force stops the moving ball. The force which we are applying makes the ball to move, and the frictional force makes the ball to stop. So, that means force can move an object and may increase or enhance the speed of object also. For example, ball is moving and somebody came and once again kicked that moving ball, its speed increases. And because of frictional force, it stops after moving to some extent. Or for example, a moving ball is there and other player comes and holds his hand against that ball stops. So, here force makes a moving object to move further, or it stops the moving object. So, here what are the effects of force? Force can move object, force can stop object, and force can increase the speed of object, and force can move the stationary object. So, that these are the effects of forces. In carom board, while playing carom board, you may observe, if you hit the coin with a striker, that coin moves speedily, and sometimes it changes its direction also. It depends upon how we are striking the coin with striker. So, in that case we can observe changing the direction, increasing the speed of coin, changing the both directions of both coin and striker. So, by these examples and observations, we can say that force may make the object which is at stationary to move, force may stop the moving object, force may change the direction of the object. So, like this force causes different type of effects. Here it stops moving objects, it makes stationary objects to move, it changes the direction. It not only changes the direction of the object, it also changes the speed of object, may increase the speed or may decrease the speed. So, these are the effects of forces. And what is the effect of force on shape of the body? For example, this rubber band is there. You see how its shape is. When I apply force on it, its shape is changed, and its shape is changed, and its shape is changed. So, when I am applying on this body, the shape of the body changes. And this is what is shape of this sponge? Cuboid. And if I hold it and twist it like this, the shape of this body is changed. It is not now in the shape of cuboid, and if I release, it regains its shape, of course. In some of the cases, change of shape is temporary. Here change of shape is temporary. When I apply force on this, its shape is changed. When I remove the force on it, it regains its shape. That means change of the body here in this case is temporary change. In the case of rubber band also, change is temporary. If I stretch the rubber band, its shape is changed, and when once again if I leave it, it comes into its normal shape. But whereas in the case of any paper, for example, this is a paper. See, I tear this paper. Will it regain its shape? No, it will not regain its shape. Here I have applied force on this paper and tear the paper. This cannot be changed to its original position. So, this kind of change is called permanent change. When we apply force on this objects, it may undergo either a temporary change or permanent change. This piece of chalk is there, and it has this cylindrical shape. When I break it, then it changed its shape. It can't get its original shape once again. That is why this kind of change is permanent change. So, with these observations we can say that force changes the shape of the bodies. They may be temporary or permanent. So, after observing all these activity, force may increase the speed, force may decrease the speed, force may make objects which are at stationary to move, or force may stop the body which is under motion, and even force may change the shapes of the bodies either permanently or temporarily. So, what is the change in effect of force with contact area? For example, if I take this pen, its edge is sharp. When I place this sharp edge on my palm, it's I am feeling a kind of experience. There is a much pressure, and if I take this part, this is not sharp. This area of this surface is more than the area of this nib, and if I place this part on my palm, there is no much effect, because due to less surface area, this is giving less pressure on my palm, and because of more area, this is giving less pressure on my palm. Here with this nib, with this edge, there is a much pressure comparing with the pressure exerted by this area which is more than the previous area. So, that means pressure depends upon area. We can define pressure as force by unit area. Force by unit area gives you the pressure. Pressure depends upon area. If area is more, pressure is less. If area is less, pressure will be more. You may take example of porters who carries loads on their heads. If a porter carries weight on his head, generally they use talapagas, because that talapaga will have more surface area than head. That is why pressure of the weight will be less on the head. So, to prevent the pressure on the head, generally porters use talapagas on their head. You may take other examples also. While you are coming to the school, you lift your bag. How the pads of those bags, they will be somewhat their border, their width will be more, so that they will give less pressure on your shoulders. And also you might have observed lorries with heavy weights will have broad tires, because broad tires will have much surface area, so that pressure will be less. So, in this way change in effect of force with contact area takes place. If contact area is more and pressure will be less, and if contact area is less and pressure will be more. And let us conduct one small activity, how pressure depends upon surface area. So far we have discussed effects of pressure on various substances, how it changes motion and how it changes shapes. And also we have given a definition of pressure. Pressure is nothing but force by area. It depends upon area. To prove that pressure depends upon area, let us conduct a small activity. Here I took a tray in which I pour some flour, and this flour is uniformly spread in this tray. And now this is a plane surface. Now we have to prove that pressure depends upon surface area. This is an object which is in the shape of cuboid. Here surface is more and here surface is less. Let us see what happens if this greater surfaces is kept on this flour. So, it sinks into some extent, and let us change the surface area of the same body, and I am placing this one in a vertical position, and if you observe these two things, and body here mass of the body is same, there is no change in mass of the body, and this mass exerts the same pressure at both the places, same force at both the places, but this part if you observe, this body sinks less deeper, and whereas if the surface area is less, then it sinks into deeper here depth is more than the depth here. In both the cases depths are different. So, why it is so happening? Because object is same, mass of the object is same and force exerted is same, even though and this area which has more contact area is more in this case, exerting more pressure, less pressure, but whereas if I keep this object in a vertical position, as the surface area is less, it sinks deeper. So, with this small activity we can say that if the surface area is more, it exerts less pressure, if the surface area is less, it exerts more pressure, due to which depth here is less and depth here is more. So, with this you might have understood how area affects the pressure. If area is more, pressure is less. If area is less, pressure is more. Totally pressure depends upon the contact surface area. So, by this we have completed the effect of force on different bodies and how force and pressure and area are interlinked with each other. Okay? With this, this lesson force has been completed. Thank you very much.